Now, drawing your attention back to January of 2020, where was your brother Andy living at the time?
He was living at Meadowbrook, 40 Meadowbrook Road.
And do you know who he lived there with?
He lived there with his children.
And which children?
Well, Noah was off at school, Susie was there, and Harry was there.
And do you know where Ms. McGee was living back in January of 2020?
I do.
Where was she living?
She was living there at 40 Meadowbrook.
And prior to living at 40 Meadowbrook, where did Ms. McGee live?
79 Randolph Road.
And what city or town is that?
I think it was technically Chestnut Hill or Brookline, I'm not exactly sure.
Okay. And do you know who owned the house at 79 Randolph Road where Ms. McGee was living prior to January of 2020?
Yes, I did.
Who owned that home?
A trust.
And who was the trustee of the trust?
I was.
And how long did Ms. McGee live in the house that was owned by the trust at 79 Randolph Road?
Not exactly sure. I think it was 16 or 15, 16, somewhere in there. That's when it started, I think.
And do you know who Ms. McGee lived with at that home?
I'm not sure. I think the kids sometimes stayed there. I don't exactly know now.
At some point, did the trust intend to sell 79 Randolph Road?
It did.
And could you explain for the court the circumstances surrounding that decision?
Sure. My brother Peter, unfortunately, got ill. He was basically cleaning up a bunch of his estate, and one of the assets in the estate was in that trust, and so he decided to sell that house.
And at some point, so when the decision was made to sell the house, what was communicated or what was decided with regards to Ms. McGee, who was living in that house?
There were leases. I believe it was 6 months before the lease came up. It was communicated that the lease would not be renewed.
And once the lease was not renewed, did Ms. McGee move out of the home?
No.
And what happened as a result of Ms. McGee not leaving the home?
An eviction case was brought.
And who initiated the eviction proceedings?
The trust.
And how long did those proceedings go on?
Started in April of 18, 1.5 years.
And during the course of those proceedings, where was Ms. McGee living?
In the house.
And was there eventually a judgment made in the case, in the eviction case, regarding Ms. McGee and the property at 79 Randolph Road?
There was a settlement.
And as part of the settlement, was Ms. McGee, did Ms. McGee agree to leave the residence?
She did.
And when was that agreement reached?
Agreement was reached in November of 19.
And what were the terms for Ms. McGee leaving the property?
The terms were she was to pay a certain amount of money. In exchange for that, she was going to be paid, or not she, but the movers were going to be paid by the trust, or by Peter, and that she'd vacate the house by December 31st, 2019.
And did that happen?
No, the terms were extended for 3 more days, and she left the house on January 3rd of 2020.
And what was the year, January 3rd of which year?
2020.
Now, after January 3rd of 2020, where did Ms. McGee, are you aware of where Ms. McGee lived?
I learned that she was living at my brother's.
At some point in 2019, Did you learn that your brother Andy had been in a car accident?
I did, yes.
And do you know how you found out about that accident?
He texted me.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
Ms. Crawford, can we please see exhibit number 8? Mr. Savitz, I'm showing you what's been marked as exhibit number 8. Do you recognize this document?
Yes.
What is it?
It's text between me, my brother Peter, my brother Matt, my brother Andy.
And what is the date that text message thread begins?
Starts on August 15th, 2019.
And with regards to the content of that, what is this text thread about?
This text thread starts fairly ominously with Andy saying, if something should happen to me, please remember that I have a $2 million life insurance policy. And it's about the accident and that he's in the hospital.
And do you recognize the phone number that is texting as being your brother Andy?
I do.
And if you could please turn, so during the course of this thread, what is your brother Andy telling you and your brothers?
He basically said that he had had some cognitive issues and he tried to drive and he was in a bad collision and he was now in the hospital and he's in the hospital and they're checking him out.
And did he tell you if anybody was with him at the hospital?
He did. He told me that a friend of ours' son was there, Dakota Fenn.
And at some point, does he tell you that Ms. McGee is there to be with him?
Yes, at some point he says Penny is coming.
And if I could please turn your attention to page 5. Ms. Crawford, could you please go to the larger paragraph at the bottom of the page? Yes, right there. Mr. Savitz, I'm going to draw your attention to the text message that is dated 8/21/19 at 8:46 p.m. Do you see that paragraph there?
I do.
Where was this, which phone number was this paragraph received from?
From my brother Andy's.
And are you aware of who was writing the text from your brother Andy's phone?
Yes.
And who was it?
It's Penny.
And how do you know it was Penny?
Just the language, you know, it's kind of, I've received and we've received a lot of these messages.
Could you please read the text message that came from your brother's phone?
Sure. It's Penny. Peter, so nice of you to text or call your brother to see how he is. John, nice text. You could have called your brother. Matt is the only one who called. Your brother has had I think it's a stroke, but it's stroke. He has minimized it, but this is a serious situation. He is still in the hospital. Last text I will send you, and I have no intention to update you. I gave you the opportunity, and you rejected it. You are on the do not visit list, and the doctors are instructed not to talk to any of you. As far as I'm concerned, you're all bastards given your lack of concern. Andy has designated me as healthcare proxy, and Fenn is second. This is our family's concern, and you have nothing to offer. Stay away. If and when Andy wants to give you any information, that is up to him. Sadly, you don't have the ability to put aside our differences for the health of your brother, which makes you worse human beings than I thought you were.
Oh boy, okay, so it's getting heated in these text messages. So now we're seeing a little bit more about the family, what was going on, the dynamic between all these brothers and the defendant. Stay tuned. We're going to be right back with more live testimony after this. A Ponzi scheme and a deadly poisoning.
a former pharmacist already convicted in a federal fraud case,
now stands trial for the murder of her husband.
The financial crime gives rise to motive.
Did Natalie Cochran kill to cover up other crimes?
We're not here to obtain convictions. We're here to obtain the truth.
Now a jury will decide her fate.
And Court TV will bring you every minute.
The Ponzi scheme murder trial. Live coverage today, only on Court TV.
Welcome back to Court TV Live. I'm Julie Grant. This morning, we have our cameras in a courtroom, a familiar courtroom in Massachusetts, the courtroom of Judge Beverly Cannoni for the start of the socialite manslaughter trial for defendant Penny McGee. So the 54-year-old mother of three and socialite is accused of causing her ex-husband's death after the two of them got into an altercation at his home. The couple's 18-year-old daughter is apparently an eyewitness and expected to be called. The first witness on the stand is the decedent's brother. So the decedent is Andrew Savitz, and he was very close with his brother. So the first one on the stand is his brother, John. He was just going through some text messages. You can see the discord that was going on with his family, and I presume we're going to hear more about what Penny McGee had to say in these messages. Take a look.
Thank you, Mr. Savitz. I should take that exhibit back. Now, at some point, were you able to see that your brother Andy had in fact executed a healthcare proxy, making Ms. McGee the healthcare proxy?
Yes.
I'm going to hand you what's been marked as exhibit number 7. You have exhibit 7, please, Ms. Crawford. Do you recognize this document?
I do.
What is it?
It's a Massachusetts healthcare proxy.
And is this, what is the date on that healthcare proxy?
It is August 21st, 2019.
Is that the healthcare proxy Ms. McGee was referencing in the text messages that you previously read?
I believe it was.
Thank you. Now, Mr. Savitz, in addition to that text thread, did you also receive text messages directly from Penny regarding your brother's condition after that accident?
I did.
Did you receive emails from Ms. McGee regarding your brother's condition after the accident?
I believe I did.
Let me show you what's been marked as exhibit number 9. You could have exhibit number 9, please, Ms. Crawford. I'm going to show you exhibit number 9. Do you recognize this document?
Yes.
What is it?
It's an email from Penny.
And how do you know it's from Penny?
It says Penelope McGee at the top. It's signed by Penny, and it's her cell phone at the bottom.
And is this an email address that you had communicated with Ms. McGee in the past prior to this August 18th?
The email address isn't listed here. It just says Penelope.
Where did that document come from?
It came from Outlook, from probably my Outlook.
Did you provide this document to anybody?
I believe I did, yes.
Did you print this document out from your email account?
I did.
If we could please zoom in, Ms. Crawford. Mr. Savitz, can you tell me what was Penny communicating to you and your brothers in this email?
She was communicating an update about what had happened to Andy and what his issues were.
And what are some of the things she told you about Andy's condition?
Said he was still confused and his memory's still impaired, been sleeping a bunch, went to the doctor, went through a PCP, what his PCP said, and then basically explained kind of some of the symptoms and explained that he was staying with her.
Thank you, I'll take this back. I'm going to do another document showing you what's been marked as exhibit number 10. Do you recognize this document?
I do.
What is it?
A text from Penny.
And who is Penny texting in this?
Texting me.
And so this is a conversation between you and Penny, and your brothers are not on this one, correct?
Correct.
Ms. Crawford, will you please see exhibit number 10? And could you zoom in on the yellow paragraph, please? Mr. Savitz, on the August 24th, 2019, at 12:57 p.m. text to you, what does Penny tell you?
She tells me that Andy's got 3 separate issues going on based on what from his doctors. Talks about the stroke, talks about a clogged left artery that may or may not require surgery, and then talks about memory loss and confusion.
Thank you, Mr. Savitz. I'm going to show you another document. This is what has been marked as exhibit number 11. Ms. Crawford, will you please see exhibit number 11? Do you recognize this document, Mr. Savitz?
Yes, I do.
What is it?
It's a text from Penny.
And in this text, what does Penny tell you?
Told me that my brother Andy got into another car accident last night, and that basically he shouldn't be driving, that she can't afford to take care of him anymore, that she's taken off some time from work and she can't do that, and she basically says that she wants to work on trying to figure out another solution to help take care of Andy.
Does she indicate specifically that she doesn't think that Andy can live alone
Yes,
or take care of their son, Harry?
yes.
And what is the date on this text message where Ms. McGee is informing you of this?
January 22nd, 2020.
So this is roughly 6 days before your brother passed.
That's correct.
Take that back from you. I'm going to show you one last document, Mr. Savitz. Showing you what's been marked as exhibit number 12. Could we have exhibit 12, please, Ms. Crawford? Do you recognize this document, Mr. Savitz?
I do.
And what is this document?
This is a document from Penny to my brothers. Basically, talking about a bunch of different things. Talks about kind of how she found Andy, how she took care of him. And talked about kind of, some bad acts.
Now, what is the date on this email?
The date is February 5th, 2021.
So a little over a year after your brother passed away.
Correct.
In this email, does Ms. McGee, in the middle, the 2-line paragraph in the middle that begins with "you are both,"
That's all right. Three-line paragraph in the middle.
Could we zoom in on that paragraph?
You are both hell-bent? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Yes.
What does Miss McGee write to you in that paragraph?
You are both hell-bent in destroying me that you forget about our children. The evening Andy passed was horrible. He was as much to blame as me. As soon as he collapsed, I performed CPR on him.
And counting down 1, 2, 3 paragraphs later, it says, I was the one. What does Ms. McGee write to you in that paragraph?
She says, I was the one who found Andy on his couch after his first accident. I packed his bags and put him in my car and took him to Randolph. He slept 12 hours a day. I got an appointment with his PCP after Andy told me he couldn't get an appointment. I got Andy an appointment the next day in 5 minutes. I took him to Newton Wellesley, even though he said he was fine and didn't need to go. I was insistent. That is when we found out he had a stroke. I was there every day dealing with his doctors, making sure he would take his diabetes medication, his depression medication, his blood pressure medication. I took almost 3 months off of work to take care of Andy and our children.
So does it appear in this email, Mr. Savitz, that Ms. McGee was quite familiar with your brother's medical situation?
Objection.
I'm going to take that back. So, Mr. Savitz, I have one last exhibit to show you. This is exhibit number 13. Could you please see exhibit number 13? Do you recognize this?
Yes, I do.
And what is this in this? What is in this?
This is my brother Andy's driver's license.
And is that how your brother Andy appeared?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Savitz.
Welcome.
All right, so we see this was a bit more involved, right? There's more of a history here. This wasn't just going over to the house on the date in question. So she's taking care of her ex-husband after his accident. He's in poor health. We know that. Let's get some reaction now from our law enforcement analyst guest, retired NYPD Deputy Inspector Corey McGee's watching along with us. Corey, good morning to you. Tell us your impressions as we're early on in this case.
Well, good morning to you, number one. So it looks like there was definitely some things going on with the family and the brothers. It looks like the wife was really trying to explain away all of the things that was happening. But then I was a little confused when she sent that other letter saying stay away. She doesn't, well, I think that was that the deceased who sent that letter to the brothers that said he doesn't want anybody to do anything to help?
Appreciate it, Corey. Stand by for more coverage, please. We're going to hit a break. We'll be right back live after this. Thanks for staying with us here on Court TV Live. I'm Julie Grant. Let's go back to the courtroom in Massachusetts for more of the socialite manslaughter trial for Penny McGee. So we have her former, brother-in-law on the stand right now talking about what his brother Andrew went through after his car accident, and with the defendant taking care of him and them all kind of butting heads on some of the issues. Let's go back in now for more of his testimony.
All of these documents the Commonwealth just referred you to. Exhibit 9. Exhibit 8. Exhibit 12. Exhibit 11. All of those documents were produced by you to the government, right?
Yes.
And that was after you contacted the government saying, I think I have some important documents you need to see, or words to that effect.
Yes.
And so you selected the documents that you thought were important, and you then provided them to the government, correct?
Yes.
And one of the things you were doing with these documents was it your intent to try to show to the government that Ms. McGee was aware of her ex-husband's medical condition?
Yes.
So is it fair to say that prior to producing these documents, what you did was, you and your brothers, you searched and looked for texts and emails and any other document that might make this point? Is that fair?
That's fair.
And this is all you could come up with. Is that fair?
That was a bunch of information.
And it's fair to say that nowhere in these documents, all exhibits now introduced, is there any reference to, for instance, heart attack or anything of the sort, correct?
I don't know if stroke qualifies. Stroke. It was referenced to
Let me
stroke.
ask you this. Do you see the two words heart attack in any of these?
No.
Do you see the words chest pain in any of these?
I don't recall, but no.
Do you see anything referencing specifically medication that Ms. McGee is telling you about, specific for any cardiac specific issues with your brother?
I wouldn't know.
You wouldn't know?
Not a doctor.
So, for whatever reason, you produce documents that also contain statements attributed to Ms. McGee where she sounds upset, if not angry, with you and your two brothers, correct?
Yes.
And her anger, according to these documents, seemed to revolve around the fact that you and your brothers did not ever bother to come up and actually visit your brother following the car accident in August of 2019.
Don't think that's correct.
Well, let's start with what's been marked Exhibit number 9. That's the document you testified to that's dated August 18th. It's addressed to Peter, John, and Matt. Correct? Do you need to see it?
If you wouldn't mind, yes?
No, I don't mind.
Thank you.
I'm showing you, you have to ask me to approach. It's fair to say that in this document, marked Exhibit 9, and dated August 18th of 2019, that it's a full page where Ms. McGee tries to explain your brother's condition and what is going on with it, correct?
That's correct.
And it's dated August 18th, correct?
Correct.
What was the date of the car accident?
I believe the 15th.
And so when she talks about he's very confused and his memory is still impaired and he's sleeping a good portion of the day, she's talking about just days following a serious car accident, correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
And she explains to you that he's not taking his antidepressants, correct?
Yes.
And she's explaining to you that at this point, in August 18th, he's experiencing some fuzziness, and in her non-medical opinion, do not believe this is the sole cause of his confusion, correct?
Correct.
It's fair to say that she's taking pains and efforts to explain to you what she believes is going on with your brother.
Fair.
And up to this point, it's fair to say that neither you, Peter, or Matt, your brothers, excuse me for using your first names, but to make sure we're clear, you had not driven up from Connecticut to visit your brother.
Correct.
Correct. May I push on?
Yes.
Now I'd like to show you what's been marked. Exhibit number 8, handing to the witness exhibit number 8. Now that document contains that paragraph that the government asked you to read into evidence. That paragraph is dated August 21st of 2019, correct?
Yes.
It's on page 5 of that
Yes.
document. And that's the paragraph you just read to Her Honor, and where Ms. McGee sounds upset and angry with you and your brother.
Yes.
And now this is August 21st, and after she had given you her assessment on August 18th, you still hadn't come up and visited your brother. You hadn't come up and tried to be helpful in attending to his medical needs. And so she writes this text to you. And she's basically upset with you and your brothers for never bothering to come up to see your brother. Mm-hmm. Right? Right?
That's what it appears, yeah.
Okay. And she says, I'm not going to give any further updates. And she really is telling you, don't call, don't come up, because of that, up to that time, you hadn't called and you hadn't come up. Right?
Nope, it's not correct.
You mean the call part?
Call and text, yes.
You didn't call Ms. McGee to ask about updates, right?
Nope.